So, good morning, team, and a very warm welcome to the TriTech Software Training Program. My name is Abhishek, and I'm the trainer of this batch. And this is the second demo session for Oracle Fusion Financials Cloud Training Program team. And as mentioned yesterday, this is a program where we will be learning about an application, how to configure an application, how to use the application, and how to develop a business solution in terms if you are implementing an application in the real life business scenario, right? And as mentioned, this is a no coding required training program, which means we'll not be doing any kind of codings, but still we'll be focusing on the overall application configuration, as well as we'll also be focusing on how to test or how to use various business functionality as per the real-time business scenarios. Quick introduction about myself, team. So we have few students who have joined today only. So for them, my name is Abhishek Kumar. I'm a certified implementation consultant for Oracle with overall experience of 12 plus years. And during this tenure, I'm doing Oracle consulting in Oracle Fusion Financials. And during this work tenure, I worked in various implementation and support projects and across multiple destinations I worked with US, UK, including Middle East, Singapore, Australia. And also, as a part of the training program, I have delivered 13 plus training program, which are like corporate training programs. And I have worked with various organizations like Deloitte, EY, Oracle, PwC, and multiple other mid-sized companies. And I'm a certified consultant, which means I have done certifications which are offered by the Oracle University. Now, some of the quick do's and don'ts. So, meeting is being recorded. So, we'll be sharing this recording across all the students. And also, we have given a dedicated time slot for the question and answers. So, at the end of this session, you can ask your question and answers. And also, if you have any questions in the middle of the session, feel free to post this same in the Zoom chat. So, either our admin team will take the same, or at the end of the session, we'll cover the same one by one. Now, team, moving back to today's agenda, what we are going to cover today. So, the first thing that we'll be talking about is the training outcomes. So yesterday we have seen about the technology. We have covered the agenda, like what technology we are talking about, under what domain it falls, which company has developed the product, what kind of product we'll be talking about, and what's the nature of product, or what is the overall architecture, and how the product fits in the global market, right? So that is something we have covered yesterday. And in today's session, we'll talk about more on the outcome of this training, what can be expected out of this training, what kind of work profiles that we can expect. Now, in the yesterday session also, we had a brief discussion on the work profile. So today we'll be having some detailed discussions so that it will help you to understand that yes, after the successful completion of this training program, where I can or what kind of opportunities I can look into. We'll also be talking about the implementation companies. So here, I'll be explaining about the various companies that are involved in the overall cycle, right? Uh, Along with the company which has developed the product and along with the company who are going to implement this product, who will be the end users. So I have few examples which will help you to effectively understand that what is the overall scope of this product. Now, apart from this, I have a second part of this session where we'll be getting familiar with the Oracle Fusion QI, where we will be deep diving into application. We'll look into the application, how the application look like, what are the key components of the application, what are basic navigations which are applicable, so that it will also give you a feel of the application, that the application or the software that we are going to use, how it looks like, how to navigate, how to log in. So those kind of things we'll be covering here. Then we'll be talking about some of the security related features that will kind of give you a glance of what is coming next in terms of the training. And also, if time permits, we'll speak about something about Oracle enterprise structure, which is something which we'll be covering in detail in the upcoming sessions. And then followed by a question and answer round, where we'll be discussing all your queries related to this program, all your queries related to the career or any other queries which are in your mind, which can be resolved here. Now, moving first is the training outcomes. So, team, as I mentioned, uh, we have a mixed match of population where we have fresher students who has recently college pass out who are looking for their career in Oracle domain or ERP domain, and also we have experienced consultant who are looking to upskill themselves in terms of Oracle platform. So, in terms of training outcome, what is what should be the expectation, right, and how it fits in as a part of the overall scope of the training. So the first thing here is product knowledge. So is this training program is going to enhance your product knowledge, right? So for freshers, of course, a yes for all the fresher students who are going to join this training program. It will help them to enhance the product knowledge, to learn about the product, what the product is, how it works, and also apart from how it works in the real time business scenarios, right? What kind of solutions we offer, and how the oral methodology works, how the implementation is done, what are the different stages of the implementation. All those things will be covering it as a part of this training. Now, this is not only going to be helpful for the freshers, as also it will be helpful for the experienced persons, or where either they have worked in some other technology, now they want to switch it to Oracle. So it will be helpful for both the sides. Now, is it something, or is this training program it will be helping me in securing a job in Oracle domain? So yes, that is a need of where we want to secure a job in the Oracle domain, and that's the reason why we are here. Now, I've not mentioned the same thing here under experienced person. Reason being, we do have experienced consultants who are already part of the Oracle domain, but who are working in some other products, or who are working in some different areas. So let's say we also have some of the students who are currently working as a human capital management consultant or supply chain management consultant, and now they want to upskill themselves in terms of the Oracle Fusion Financial. So that's why I've not included them in securing a job in the Oracle domain because they already are working in the same, right? Now, especially from the experienced students' point of view, we have this point which is upskilling the product knowledge, right? So many of the experienced students have joined us who are looking to upskill themselves, who are either working in an organization where they do have the Oracle practice and now they want to upskill and then move to the Oracle practice, or they're working in some other product from Oracle side only, and now they want to learn the Oracle Fusion financials and then get promoted or by upscaling themselves in terms of the overall product. Now, enhance subject knowledge, one of the very important criteria here. So, the training program that we have developed is in such a way that is more kind of practical oriented. So, it will not be kind of like theoretical oriented where we will be just discussing the oral concept, but here we will be following a process called real-time implementation where we have something called configuration workbooks, working sheets that we'll be preparing in the real life or in the day-to-day sessions. And under those sessions only, we will be accessing the application. We will be configuring the application. Along with that, we'll be preparing the notes and the configuration workbooks, which will help you to understand what are the step-by-step process which are involved in the implementation of the Oracle Fusion Financial. And that is something which will help you to enhance your subject knowledge. Along with that, you'll also be having access of the Oracle repository. And that repository contains the detailed theoretical notes on each and every subject that we are going to cover, right? So both the side, it will help you to enhance your overall subject knowledge. Plus, the approach that we are going to use in this training program is exactly the same that we use into the implementation program where we implement the product into the any of the businesses. Now, here in the same context, we will be learning about the end-to-end implementation cycle, right? So what does it mean? If I can give you some details here. So end-to-end implementation cycle means whenever we are going to implement this product, or software, which is Oracle Fusion Financial for any of the business, right? So what happens? There are some predefined methodologies which are available from Oracle side, and as per those methodologies, the product is implemented, right? So as a part of this, we will be studying various implementation stages, like what are the stages that are involved in the implementation, and as a part of each stage, what should be the output that should be expecting as a consultant, and then how the overall product is implemented, or stage by stage, what are the activities or outcomes that is achieved, right? So using that methodology only, we will be implementing the product here, and that is something which will be going forward will be helpful, because if you have that kind of understanding that what is the methodology, what are the stages involved in the execution of the product, then it is something which will make you ready for a real time implementation, and it is something which will gain kind of give you upper hand when you are applying for a job, so that it will help the interviewer to understand that yes, as a consultant, you are ready for deployment in any ongoing opportunity or any ongoing project. Then last and not the least, prepare for certification. Now, certifications are something that is offered by Oracle University, right? And module wise, different module wise, financials, we have certifications. So within financial, we have accounts receivable, accounts payable, general ledger. So like that, module wise certifications are there. Now, what does certifications do? So certifications are like a kind of add-on advantage to your profile. If you are a certified consultant, then it gives an add-on advantage when you are applying for a job. And even the companies who are recruiting, they also gives preferences to the consultant who are having the certification. Now, I'm not saying that this is a mandatory thing, kind of like you should be having certification also before applying for the job, but this is a kind of add-on thing. Now, is this training program is going to help you to prepare for the certification? So the answer is yes. Now, what happens, team, here? In comparison to the previous approach, now the new certification pattern is it's a mixed match of two components. One is the practical based approach, one is the theoretical based approach, which is still the MCQs, where under theoretical based approach, MCQs will be asked and you need to answer them, right? So those preparation is something we'll be covering as a part of the overall concept that we are going to cover in the class, as well as from the Oracle repository, you can prepare for the theoretical part. But equally, there is a practical part involved in the certification exam, where during the exams, you'll be given access to an application, and then you'll be given various scenarios that you are a consultant, you are implementing for a business, and these are the business requirements you have. So accordingly, please configure the application. So in the real time only during the certification exam, you need to configure the same, and based on the configuration that you do, your marks will be allocated. Right. So both the aspects are something that we are going to cover as a part of this training program, where in the day-to-day classes we'll be covering the theoretical concept plus the practical aspects of the application. So it will also parallelly help you to prepare for the certification exam. And that is something which is helpful both for the freshers and the experienced consultants. So now, hope this training outcome would have helped you on these points to understand that what are the potential outcome of this successful completion of this training, and how or what should I be expecting out of this training program. Now, moving next is the roles, right? So yesterday we have discussed these roles that you can apply for the role of implementation consultant, support consultant, or product testing consultant. And also at the same time, you can work as a freelancer and contractor, right? Now here I have given a representation where I have given whether these roles are available in the vendor company. Vendor company means the company who's developed product, which is Oracle. So do Oracle have these kind of roles available, right? Because Oracle has developed the product, and whether the same roles are applicable to the consulting company who are actually implementing the product on behalf of the end user company. So the answer is everywhere it's a yes, which means that do Oracle also hires in the position of implementation consultant? Yes. So Oracle has a dedicated consulting company who are involved in the execution of product, right? So development is one of the key area that is which Oracle works. But along with that, it also has a dedicated company, or I can say branch, who is involved in the consulting, right? Where you have the implementation consultant, support project consultant, even product testing consultant, and as a freelancer and contractor also, Oracle do hiring, where they hire for specific needs and requirements for implementing the project. Now, same way consulting company. So consulting company are the experts who actually implement the product, right? So they have their own implementation practice. They have their support related projects, product testing projects, freelancing products. So in all those positions, they also hire on active basis. Now we have a lot of companies sitting here under consulting company. We have big size, like big fours we have in Oracle Consulting. Then we have many mid-sized companies. We have very small-sized company who are in partnership with Oracle. They are implementing the products across the globe. Correct. So here they have a lot of companies, and along with a lot of companies, even the new companies are emerging on a day-to-day basis. And there you can expect a lot of job opportunities here. Now, here, if we have the consulting company who are implementing, so they are implementing on behalf of some end user company. End user company means who are the actual users of the product, right? So if we have a lot of companies here, then definitely someone is using the product, right? And that's where we have the end user companies, where the end user company who actually uses the product also sometimes maintain their own implementation team, where any new module or new feature to be implemented, then instead of working with the consulting company or vendor company, with the use of their internal team, they will be implementing the solutions. So there also we have dedicated opportunities available. Same way with the support, where they have specific IT team or the Oracle support team who provides the internal support for using product. And as they have the implementation team. So along with that, also we have opportunities in terms of testing consultant who actually will be testing the solutions that has been deployed, and along with freelancers and contractors. So their presence is everywhere in the vendor company, consulting company, and end user company. Right. So now we understand this concept of vendor company, who's the vendor company, consulting company, and who's the end user company. Now, at the same time, let's also have some examples of the vendor company, consulting company, and end user company. So it will make the concept more clear. Now, some of the top companies have been included here, right? But there are a lot of other companies also. So these are some of the renowned names. So vendor company, of course, the product is developed by Oracle Corporation, right? So it's a vendor company. Then along with the vendor company, it also acts as a consulting or partner company, where it has a dedicated company who is involved in the Oracle consulting, who actually implements the product on behalf of the end user companies, right? So some of the big names we have here. So we have Accenture involved in the consulting. We have Cognizant, we have Deloitte, we have IBM, Infosys, PwC, TCS, Wipro, etc. These are some of the renowned names, but still we have a lot of other names. We have KPMG, we, we have Mastek Limited, we have Oracle itself here as a part of the consulting team, right? And then globally also there are other companies who are working, who are big size companies as well as the small size companies. So across different regions, so almost all now Oracle has presence everywhere across the world. It has presence, and wherever it presence is, you will be having the consulting companies also who are involved in the execution of the product or execution of implementation of the project for various end user companies. Now, talking about the end user companies. Now, these are some of the names that I have taken from the Oracle official website, right? So these are some of the big names we have here. But along with that, there is a huge count of companies who are actually using Oracle as of today, and that too the cloud version. So in India, some of the Indian examples we have here. So Bharti Airtel Limited working on cloud. Then you have Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance Company working on cloud, Oracle Fusion Cloud. Then you have SBI cards, Uber, Zoom, FedEx, Mazda, Bosch. These are US based tech companies, right? And so some Indian examples, some US-based examples, and these are published on the official website of the Oracle that successfully the implementation has been done, and these are your end user companies. Now, why I'm highlighting these companies here? So that I can explain you the overall scope of this product, like what is the market position. As you see here, many of the big companies are using the product either in terms of end user, in terms of partners, in terms of vendor. So equal opportunities are available everywhere. Now with this team, let's switch to the next part of this session where we'll be having a quick deep dive into the application. Let's see how the application looks like. What are the key components of the application? So let's move into the same. So let me just switch on to a browser. So I'll open a browser here. Great. So there are three things basically which are required here in order to access the application. One is the application URL. So this is my application URL. And now when you just access the application URL, this is how the screen looks like. The initial login screen looks like sign in Oracle Applications Cloud. Then you have the user ID and password. Now using this user credentials, you will be able to access the application, right? Now, if you go by this URL, right, let's try to break it out here. Give me a second. I'll just open an Excel sheet here. So this is going to be my application URL. Now, if you look into the application URL, right, so there are two things which we should be focusing upon. First is this one. So here, this application is EKMK test. Now, what happens if in the real-time implementation? So let's say I'm doing an implementation for a specific company or specific business. So each business is provided with a unique URL by the Oracle. Okay. Now, so let's say here we have eCampkit test, right? So this is something which is going to be unique across all the applications. This link is not going to be same, or this phrase is not going to be same for any of the multiple or for multiple application. It is something which is going to be always unique. Business to business, these are unique. Now, what happens team here? When we implement the product, right? So it is not the case where we will be having only one URL or one application access. So there can be instances where multiple application access will be having one for the initial solution development, right? And one for the business to test from their side, and one is the final application which they'll be using for the purpose of their running day-to-day business activities, right? So there can be multiple versions of the application, which can be minimum two, and from the upper side, it can go up to 10, 12, depending on the size of the business, right? So here, the things that you'll be uh, seeing in any day-to-day businesses, you'll be having something like this, right? So you can have testings application, you can have development application, you can have production application. Normally, a production application is something that will be used for day-to-day business, real-time business activities will be captured here. Then your development application, which will part of the same business, right? But it will be used for more for the purpose of development of any new solution, or this is something which will be used by the business for their internal testing. And test application is something which is generally restricted to the implementation team or the consulting team, where they can uh, prepare a solution, they can do all the configuration as per the business requirement and do the demonstration. Now, the difference between all three we'll understand in detail in the upcoming session, because this has to do something with the implementation stages and all. right? So that is something we'll be discussing here. But a quick detail here. So whenever you're looking into something like followed by a phrase test, day, fraud, so, that represents different types of application within the same business environment, right? So let's say this is business one. So I'm just writing, or let's say I'm implementing for Zoom, right? And then I'm implementing another for another business. So maybe the case it is having a different URL, right? So this is how you are going to distinguish between one application to another, right? So no two business will be using the same URL, correct? And it was always a unique URL provided by Oracle. Now, what I need to do in order to access the application, I need to enter the URL here, enter the dedicated user ID and password that has been allocated to me. So once I access the application, right? So here you'll see welcome username, and this is how the overall screen or the landing page or the dashboard looks like. Okay, so you have the greetings available here along with the username, right? And then what happens, team? You see various icons here. There are various icons available on screen, right? And these icons represents different type of functionalities, different type of business areas that you are able to access. Okay. Now, in this current environment or for this particular user, right? Everything is enabled for, right? Everything is enabled means the user is able to access everything, able to perform all the activities and all. But is it something that will be the case for all the users? The answer is no. So we have something called security concept here, right? So if I'll just write it here. So first thing that will be made sure is users will be having dedicated user account. Correct. So at the business level, this is something that is made sure. And once the user have the access, then what kind of data they'll be able to access? So who, what, and which. What and which. These three concepts. So who means which user is going to have the access of the application, right? So let's say there is a user, Chandu.it is going to have the access of the application. What access should the user be having? What access means what modules, right? So we have finance as it's an ERP system, right? So we have financial modules, we have supply chain modules, we have human capital management module, we have manufacturing, we have CX, customer experience, right? So in many other module we have as a part of the overall ERP solution, right? So the second question that should be asked here that what kind of access or what modules should be I should be able to access. Now let's say I'm a financial consultant, right? So I should be able to access all the financial modules, right? So let's say general ledger I need to access, then accounts payables, then accounts receivable, AR, fixed asset, FA, cash management, CM, right? So these are the access that I should be having, right? Now, if I'm having these kind of access or these module access, now which data is something very critical to understand. Which data means which company data. Now, this is very critical to understand because based on this point, there is one very good utility of this application. And the utility is if I'm saying which company data, does it mean the application can support implementation for multiple companies or it can give you the solution or it can provide the ERP solution for multiple companies? The answer is yes. So if I have a requirement, a business requirement, where it's not a single company, it's a group of companies, right? Where it has, let's say, 100, 200 companies in one single group. So is it something where I need to get license for all 200 companies or means I should be having a different application for all 200 companies? The answer is no. Within one single application, I can maintain the data for all 200 companies. That possibility is there, right? So many times you'll see where you're implementing for a real business, you'll see it's a whole group of companies where multiple companies are involved, and the project execution or the product implementation is something which is done for all 200 companies within one single application, right? And that is where this part which is becomes important, which data means if I'm having the access of various modules within those modules, whether I should be able to access all the data related to 100 companies or only the company which in which I'll be dealing with, right? So there, for example, if I'm involved in company one or only Zoom here, then I should be able to access only data which belongs to Zoom, right? So that is a very important, very good concept, which is a security-based concept. Means which user, what kind of data access will be having, and which kind of data, which specific company data access will be having. That is something which will be something which is maintained at the application. So how it is done, what requires to be done here, that is something we'll be covering as a part of our regular classes. We'll understand the concept in detail, but then one by one, we'll be looking into the same. Now, moving back to the dashboard. So I have my payables, accounts payable, I have my general accounting here, intercompany, budgetary control, fixed asset, cash management, lease accounting, right? And various other modules I have it here, correct? Because for this particular user, the access of the same has been provided, right? Then how to give the access, what are the conditions, those things also will be covered here. Now some other points here. So we have this is a home icon, right? Where anywhere I'm on the application, this will always be there on the top of the screen. I can just click on the same and it will bring me to the home screen like this, right? So this is something which is called dashboard. And then on the extreme right, we have something called settings and actions, right? So under settings and actions, what we have, some of the important points we have, which is first is sign up. Means from here I can log out to from the application, and there is something which is called about this application, the extreme bottom. So if you see here, there is something very important information which is mentioned about this application, the overall version and all. So here, if you see, this is working on 25A, means the current version is 25A. So 25, what it represents here, team. So 25 is your year 2025. And then what Oracle does is, now in yesterday's session, we have seen the maintenance activity, the upgradation activity is something which is taken care by Oracle. And Oracle, what it does, it has fixed schedules, right? And as per the maintenance schedules, there are quarterly maintenance schedules which are there. Okay. And the quarter that is followed is Jan to March, April to June, July to September, and October to December. So this is the calendar year which is followed for the purpose of maintenance, and these are denoted in turn by A, B, C, and D. Okay. So now if the application version is 25A, means year 2025, A means representing the first quarterly upgraded version. So that means today we are in February, which means we are using the latest updated version of the application. Correct. So that is something very important to understand. So anywhere if you are having the access of the new application, the first thing that you should be checking here on which upgraded version the application is running. Correct. So it will also help you to understand whether we are expecting some kind of upgrade in the near upcoming days, or the application is running on the latest upgraded version, right? So I hope this is okay. And then we'll also be looking into these of things, what does it mean, and other related details we'll be looking into. Correct. So one of the thing is late upgraded version and how the update works. That is something we understand here. Now, along with that, as of now, I'll also take you to one more page here, which is set preferences. right? So there is no need to remember the navigation here, team. Just uh, concentrate on what kind of information we are accessing here, right? So under set preferences, we have something called regional and something called password. So you can even change your password from here, and then you can go to regional, and this is something very important. So what is this, team? This is something called user preferences for the application. Now, this application works on a cloud basis, right? It runs on cloud. So across the globe, anywhere you are, you can access the application, right? You can work into the application, right? But sometimes what happens, let's say I'm implementing for a US company, but I'm working in India, right? So I want all the details to be available as per the Indian time zone, right? So let's say the territory is in India, right? So I can mark the territory that I'm working in India, the date format, what kind of date format should be presented if I'm working in this application, anywhere the date is published, what format it should, right? So that is something I can fix from here. So we have a lot of all the applicable formats are available here. So whatever format that you follow, that you can mention it. Further, what is the time format? Again, there are multiple options, right? So whatever format that I choose, all the data in the application or all the details in the application will be presented in that format. So again, what is the number format? So is it like this format where we use comma and all, or we use exclamation mark, right? So different regions may be having different requirements, and based on that, these formatting can be set here. And same way, what is the default currency here? So default currency option is also something that we can set here, right? Now this is not going to impact my overall configuration because again, the currency things, those are something which is will be configuring that in what currency we'll be maintaining our books of accounts or in our transaction. That is something we'll be doing again. But default is something which we are mentioning here. And what kind of time zone that you're working in, right? So anytime you're using the application, so what time it should report give me or what time it should show me, right? So it is based on the time zone that we have selected here, right? So currently it has been selected Riyadh, Arabia time. We can make it to India time or any other time. So all the time zones are available here, right? So if I fix it to India, then time zone that will be visible here will be Indian, right? So if I save and close, this is going to be saved for my particular user account, right? So as a part of the initial activities, right? The first thing that you'll be doing is you'll be checking the version application, or you should be checking, right? So that it will help you to understand what is the current version of the application, any upgrade that can be expected in the nearby days or not, and also set the preferences where you can set your own preferences as per your requirement under set preferences under region, right? Then you have other details like you can attach your photos and all so that it will be available on the dashboard like this user account belongs to you. Now there are some other details here which may not be applicable for now, but maybe in the upcoming sessions we'll be looking to the same, right? So this is how the application looks like, right? And some of the things to finish means these are some of the quick reminder page where you'll be able to see all the tasks that has been assigned to you and for which any action is required from the user end or from your end. Okay, so those details are also something which is available here. Now, pretty much if you access one application or another, right, multiple application you access, so pretty much same kind of screen you'll be able to see here. The only differences that you can see that business to business, these themes can also change. The backgrounds can change. So if business wants this to be in different colors, theme and all those uh, formatting changes are something that can be done. But the overall look like will be like that only, right? Where you'll be able to see the respective modules and based on the access that has been given to you like this, right? So if I go to the right hand side, so this is my receivables screen. If I click on the receivables, you have receivables related concepts here, right? Listed within these subject areas like billing related, customer billing, then customer deposit related. Same way we have for the payables also. So payable dashboard, invoice related transactions will be done here. Supplier invoices, payments will be done from here. right? Now, is it something that I can directly use? Means, can I directly go to the invoices, create invoices? Answer is no. There is a whole set of configuration which is required to be done here, and based on those configuration, we will be able to go to the respective transaction, right? So if I go back here, so basically in this training program team, we'll be covering three aspects, right? So we'll start with the we'll understand the overall structure for configuration, right? So very important discussion we'll be having here. Enterprise structure. So first thing that we'll be discussing is enterprise structure, one of the very important concept that will become the base of your solution. Second thing, we'll talk about the configuration. So here we'll be using something called CWBs, configuration workbook, as well as we will be doing something called worksheet, where we will be preparing worksheet in the classrooms, which will contain all details of all the discussions that all the key concepts which requires to be noted down will be noted down as a part of the worksheet, as well as we will be using the configuration workbook. The configuration workbook, very important and very useful, and this is something as it is you can use for the real implementation also, because this has been extracted from the real implementation only. Means whatever we have used in our various implementation from there only, I have picked the same, and that we'll be using here in the training, so that same can be readily used in the upcoming implementation that any of you are going to do. All right, configuration is one aspect here. Then we have something called functional testing. Test all the relevant functionalities related to the modules and map the same. This is important again against the business scenario. Right. So here I'll be discussing various business scenarios, and based on those scenarios, what are the functionalities which are available and how to use the functionalities. What is the outcome of the functionalities in terms of accounting? Accounting, very important aspect we'll be covering here, because it's, we are doing financials, so accounting is also something should be covered here, and followed by reporting. Okay. So this is the oral set of things that we'll be covering here, and then followed by system admin activities, right? Means something which is not restricted to the individual modules, but which is done at the system or the application level, right? As an admin. So those activities is something deep we will be covering here, right? And apart from that, we will be also moving ahead, going forward, we'll be covering something which is called interview, or I can write it here, reference interview questions and relevant discussions, right? Now, this is the overall set of activities that we'll be performing here. Then it also has sub activities and all, right? So these are the broader classifications that I've given you that will help you to understand what are the overall set of activities that we'll be covering here. So we'll understand the overall enterprise structure, we'll configure the same the application, and we'll use the configuration workbook. Various worksheets we'll be preparing, will be during that time only we'll be accessing the repository and all, right? Then we'll be doing the functional testing, accounting part will be covering, reporting part will be covering, and then we'll perform various system related activities which will help you to gain an edge on how the overall application is managed, And then we also, as a part of the curriculum, we'll be using preparing for the interviews, where reference interviews related questions that are the key, some of the key questions, some of the very specific questions that are being asked as a part of the oral interview program. That is something we'll be having discussion here, and where I'll be sharing my experience as an interviewer, right? What is the expectation as an interviewer, and also we'll be having open forum discussions where we can also leverage the experience consultants and knowledge in terms of interview, right? So we will be having sessions on a daily basis here, and where we'll be discussing these kind of uh, oral concepts or oral curriculum of this training program, right? Now let me move back to the presentation screen back. Right. So these are the security related aspects, right? So in the upcoming regular classes, right, we'll be discussing these in detail. What is the role-based security model, and how the roles are defined, or how the roles are assigned to the respective employee or respective users, right? So some of the seeded roles means already available roles in the application. So we'll talk about these, right? And how the overall security concept works. So it's not only based on roles, but there are multiple components which are involved here. Then enterprise structure we'll be talking about. So this is from where we'll be starting our regular classes. We'll be having a discussion on the enterprise structure. One of the very important aspect, or you can say the base of any configuration, is your enterprise structure. Then we'll be talking about the financials and all, right? Uh, so as of now, this may look like very complicated scenario, but yes, once we done with the enterprise structure, we understand the overall enterprise structure, we'll refer this page and we'll understand what kind of solution this is representing here. All right. Now, moving back to the again to the course part. So students who have joined today only for them. So the overall duration of this course is going to be 2.5 months, or somewhere around 2.5, or plus minus 1 or 2 weeks. We'll be completing 70 plus hours of training is something that we are expecting here. This may go up by 10% depending upon the availability of time during the weekends also. So if available, we'll also cover some important aspects there, right? The timing of this match is Monday to Friday, working days, 7 to 8 a.m. IST. In Indian Standard Time, we'll be working here. And what we are offering as a part of this curriculum is lifetime access to the video recordings. Now, what kind of video recordings? All the classes, including the demo classes, being recorded. So we have a dedicated portal available, TriTech portal, where all the recordings gets uploaded on a daily basis. So immediately after the class, the recording gets uploaded, and it will be available to the students who have the access of the portal. So once you have the access of the portal, anytime after the class, when you're doing the practice, you can refer those sessions, right? All the key concepts you can refer there, and it's a kind of like lifetime access that you'll be having. It's not like something for a limited time period. And along with that, we'll also be having access of the private and public cloud instances. Now, very important this aspect, because many of the in many of the training programs I have seen, the training is done on the instance, but no access is given to the students. But here we have made an arrangement to make the training more effective. We will be giving you the access of multiple application instances, so that you can use the same for your practice offline. Offline means after the class, you can use the same for the practice. And the approach that we use here in this training program is each and every student should at least complete at least one overall implementation cycle. Means whatever modules we are covering as a part of the training, the overall set of solutions, the overall set of modules should be configured by the students. So it will give you a knowledge that how the implementation is done, what are the key activities that are taken care of, and how the various modules are linked with each other in terms of configuration, in terms of the functional testing. Right. So that is something very important here. So if we uh, deduct this, like 2.5 months will be there in training, and meanwhile you will be having the access, and even after the training program also you will be having the access of the cloud, right? And meanwhile we'll also be accessing the Oracle repository for the latest notes here. Let me open the pointer option here. So this Oracle repository is something the updated one, where after every upgrade which Oracle release, the upgraded notes are published. So we'll use that upgraded version only to access the notes in detail, right? Then apart from the core feature, some of the placement assistance also will be looking into. So one-to-one doubt assistance. So we'll be following a mechanism where uh, we'll be using the WhatsApp official WhatsApp group for communicating with each other. So any kind of doubt that you are having related to the class or even after class when you're doing the practice, any of the conceptual clarity that you require, so that is something we will be covering here. Then real-time project assignments, so that is something I have mentioned here. So at least one project implementation is something expected out of the students as a part of this training program, so that they understand the overall activities. But apart from that, if you can if you can give more time, then also you can do the same multiple times. So which will give you kind of like hands-on practice of the application. Then our team will also be helping you with the resume preparation. So how the ideal resume should look like for an Oracle Fusion financial consultant. So that is the target here, right? So there will be helping you out, and that will be helping you out in preparing the interview questions and answer. So this thing I have already mentioned as a part of the curriculum, and the referrals for full-time and freelancing. So we have tie up with multiple organizations. So anytime we get the openings from there, so first thing that we'll be doing will be communicating to you so that you can directly apply uh, for those openings, as well as we will also be referring from our side. So it will help you to gain an advantage over other students who are applying for the job. Then along with that, uh, as and when we have any openings available from our side means for any organization that is hiring and we come to across those requirements. So we'll also be sharing with you guys in the official WhatsApp. So you can apply for the same. So hope this is clear here, team. And let me go to the next part here. So yes, just got an update from the admin team also that this early bird offer that we have discussed yesterday. So we're continuing it for today also because we have new students who have joined today only. So we'll continue this early bird offer. So if you complete the enrollment by today, you can take advantage of this early bird offer. So the course fee is this one, but if you enroll under the early bird offer, you can enroll with this amount with the discounted value here, right? And additionally, we'll also be offering you 2 month additional access of the private server. Means the application will be available for additional 2 months. So 5 months plus 2 months, that becomes your 7 months overall access. So in order to complete the enrollment, there are two approaches. One is our admin team is there in the meeting. They have already shared the Google Forms. So you can connect, you can use that link, or you can connect directly with the admin team on this WhatsApp number so that you can get the enrollment process completed. Now, one more thing here. So uh, today we'll be officially done with the two online free demo classes. And tomorrow, the regular classes will begin, where we'll be discussing the application and the implementation curriculum, right? And for tomorrow, a separate Zoom link will be shared to the students, and those links will be shared to all the enrolled students who have completed their enrollment. And 7 to 8 is the official timing. So we'll begin at 7 and we'll complete by 8 or 8:15 max the regular classes. So Monday to Friday is something that we'll be targeting here. Alright, team. So I think that's it I have for now. And let me go through some if you have any questions. So you can either unmute yourself or you can post the questions directly in the chat, Zoom chat, so I can pick it up and I can answer this. All right. So if there are no questions for now, that's fine. Or you can also take a note of this number. So if you want to reach out our admin team, do directly reach on this number. And any queries regarding the training program or the curriculum, so you can directly ask the admin team, and or they'll directly connect it you with me, and I'll be able to answer the same. Right. So we'll start from tomorrow, team. So sharp at 7 will start. So see you in the regular classes. So thank you, team. Thanks for joining, and have a great day. Thank you.